Good morning. This is Sara Sach with Posh Pooch Designs, and today is our live video chat, and we have a lot of fun things to talk about. And just in case that you don't know, every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time, because I live in Colorado, just south of Denver, we have a live video chat. And I'm going to say we try to have it every Tuesday because you never know what extenuating circumstances could keep us from not being able to have one. So good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Dana. I see you're both here. Clink in. And everybody else, make sure you remember to clink in. And also let me know where you're from, because now don't give me your address. Just let me know where country or state you're from, because I love to see where all the different people are from around the world that get to watch or tune in to my live video chat. Now we have a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to be discussing how to join those chunky yarns, because they can be very tricky and different than your regular, say, worsted weight 3 or 4 yarns. They can be a little bit trickier and be a little bit bulky. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about my silly pumpkin hat as well. Isn't it silly? And then we're going to talk about some new things and some new videos going on this week at Posh Pooch Designs. I have to tell you the funniest story. Every Tuesday morning when I get ready for my live video chat, you know, I brush my teeth, I comb my hair, put on some clothes, you know, the typical things, add a little mascara. And I was leaving the bathroom and I thought, maybe I should put on some perfume. So I squirted on some perfume and then I thought, they can't smell it. Well, when I'm done here, I'm going to run out and get a couple of yarn. I'm going to run out to Hobby Lobby and to Michael's, because I have some yarn I have to pick up for a couple of orders this week. But I thought it was so funny. I'm worried about what I smell like, and y'all can't smell me. We don't have smell-o-vision. So someone sent me this morning. It's just a little saying, and it says, "A thankful heart is a happy heart." And I really, really believe that we all have things that we can be thankful for, even when times are rough in our lives. And even though, you know, here in America, a week from Thursday, we're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving. And it's a time to reflect, spend time with family, and reflect on what we're thankful for. And even if you're not an American or don't live in America, there are many, many things for us to be thankful for. You know, family and friends and food and clothes and lots of those things. And so that's why I really liked this saying, that a thankful heart is a happy heart. All right, let's get into our conversation. Make sure you clink in. See my cup? It says give thanks. I got this on sale at Hobby Lobby. Anyway, so when we're joining regular yarn, say 3 or 4 weight or smaller, and even a 5 weight yarn, a lot of times we do what's called the Russian join. Unfortunately, when you're working with some of these thicker yarns like this, the Russian join just doesn't work very well. It's too bulky, and it just doesn't lay nice. And so I'm going to click over to my other cam and scoot over here and just show you what I'm talking about. I've got this pink yarn here. This is Hometown USA. It's one of my favorites when it comes to the chunky, because it has a sheen to it. It has like a soft silkiness to it, similar to Karen Simply Soft, but it's very chunky. And so sometimes when we're trying to join these chunky yarns, they just don't join pretty. Let me do a Russian join real quick using these 2 ends to show you what I'm talking about. I've got a needle with a great big eye. I'm going to thread that through there. And then the way we do the Russian join is we turn and we stitch a few stitches going right through the fiber of the yarn. And I always put my thumb in there because I'm going to pull that through. And you can see, even working with the chunky needle and chunky yarn, it's a little more difficult. So here's the first side, and I've got that loop. I'm going to set that down. And I'm going to take the other end that I'm going to join with. And I'll thread that. And then I'm going to go right through that loop I made. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn and stitch through some of those fibers of the yarn. There we go. All right, so here's our Russian join, and to get those together, we pull these two outside strings. And what you'll notice is it's very bulky and thick. And if you're crocheting across that, let's just say I'm making some chains. And if you're crocheting across that, you're going to get a lot of bulkiness, and it's not going to be pretty. So what I do a lot of times, and I'm just going to clip those so I don't have to worry about taking them out. So what I do a lot of times when I have two chunky yarns is I lay one down one way and I'll lay the other one down the other way, and then I'll just crochet across there. For example, I'll make another chain real quick. There's my slip knot, and stick my big old hook in there. And I'm chaining across, and I realize, oh my goodness, I'm out of yarn. I'll just lay that one across. I'll go right across that, grabbing both of those, and then I'll let them drop and keep going across. And I think it makes a much better and smoother join. And then when I'm done, I can just weave those two ends in. I always snug them down a little. And then I can just weave those two ends in. One of the things that I have found, I absolutely love working with chunky yarns. I actually prefer that over a worsted weight number 4, or any of the number 3s or number 5. I would much rather use like a 6 chunky or even an 8 chunky. I just love the chunky yarns. This Hometown USA is a 6. And I had great plans to make a something for breast cancer awareness with this pink, so I'll save that and use it for next year. But I had great plans for using that, and but I get so frustrated when it's time to join those colors in. And this actually works when you're using 2 colors as well. Now you can see with the regular Russian join, this is a worsted weight, 2 different colors of yarn, and you can see it's nice and smooth. You can crochet right across that and then cut those strings off when you're done. The Russian join is a fantastic join, but when you're using these chunky yarns, and here's this one we worked with, trying to make that Russian join, you can still do it depending on what stitch you're using. I just find it to be extremely chunky. Bulky. It makes a big bump, and especially if you're working in something where you want a nice smooth movement, and then you get this big chunk of yarn or you join, it just doesn't look pretty. And of course, we always want our yarn and the things that we make with our yarn to look pretty. Now, if you want a video on how to do the Russian join, I did one, I think it's been about a year ago on my YouTube channel, but it's pretty much showing you what I showed you here in this video. I do love the Russian join. I use it all the time for, like I said, the smaller ones. I'll even do it all the way down to like the sport weight. I don't mind. The Russian join is perfect, but the chunky one just doesn't look as pretty as I would like it to. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about on joining chunky yarns. Good morning, Trish. Good morning, Petra. I missed you popping in. Clink in again. It's so wonderful, I have to say, when I'm doing a live video and I see names come up that I recognize. I love that because I feel like I've made some wonderful friends. And I also like when I see new names pop up because then I have the opportunity to make new friends. Crochet is a wonderful thing that can combine the world. I mean, what a better way than that, right? I love crochet. I love yarn. Alrighty, so the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, I got that question about chunky yarns, and then someone sent me a message and they said, I have this favorite hat that I make all the time, and I want to make it into a silly turkey hat, and I don't know what to do. Good morning, Sharon. Thanks for clinking in. And she said, I don't know what to do. Good morning, Laura. Love y'all popping in. Anyway, she said, I don't know what to do. I have this hat that I just love, but I want to make it into a turkey hat. And so what I'm going to tell you is really something really, really simple. The hat that I am wearing, this is my leaf jumper hat because it's my favorite new hat now. And then I took the pieces, the eyes and the beak and the gobble and the curls from my turkey headband. And so if you have a favorite turkey hat, good morning, Bev. Thanks for popping in. Oh, thanks for saying you love my patterns. But anyway, if you have a favorite hat that you really love and you just want to add something to it, like this is the leaf jumper hat. It's one of my favorites. It's got a little bit of texture to it and I just love it. So what I did is I took off the pin. Now I used the leaf jumper hat has a leaf pattern and it has a pin on it that the leaf is a pin. So I just took it off and then I just sewed on the eyes and the beak and the gobble, which I think is hilarious, and the curls on the top in different colors to make it into a silly turkey hat. We'll see how everybody likes it when I run my errands today because I'm planning on wearing it when I go to Hobby Lobby and some other stores. Good morning, Missy. I didn't see you pop in. Everybody's just popping in. Now, if you just joined us right now, earlier in the video, we talked about how to join those chunky yarns. So feel free when we're done just to watch the beginning again because it is really important to know the difference between the chunky and the thin yarns when it comes to joining. But you can take any hat that is your favorite, whether it be chunky, thin, or even a slouchy hat, or even one of the new ponytail messy bun hats. All you have to do is use pieces to make it into what you want it to be. In other words, if you have a chunky hat pattern that you just love, make it in brown, or like this one is like an assorted brown. It's got some flecks in it for texture. Go ahead and make your favorite hat. And the pieces on this are my turkey headband. They work perfect on a hat. And I love it, and it's so much fun to make. But you will have to sew the pieces on. So, you know, I took the leaf off, and I'm going to use the leaf as a pin anyway, so I'm okay with that. But this is my silly turkey hat, and that's why I said we're going to gobble till we wobble. And like I said, here in America and with the Americans, our Thanksgiving is a week from Thursday, so I thought it would be fun to do a little turkey hat. I'll let you know what everybody says when I'm out and about today wearing it. The other week when I wore the curlers, Oma has curlers in her hair hat, I got the best reaction. But Halloween landed on the 31st on a Tuesday, and so it was really, really, really accepted well. I ran all my errands wearing that hat. People laughed at me, people joked with me, and it was really a lot of fun. And I met a lot of people who crochet. So wear your hats, wear the things that you make so people can see them. You'll make some wonderful friends. What beautiful yarn is the rug on the back on your chair? I'm going to talk about that right now, Petra. I can't believe you just asked that question. I'm going to talk about it right now. It's a blanket actually behind me. Isn't this gorgeous? Let me bring this up close so you can see this yarn. This is the blanket yarn from Bernat, and it is called Rainbow Glow, and it's the rainbow. Yes, it's Rainbow Glow, and it's the Bernat blanket yarn in the cake. And to make this yarn, you'll need 2 cakes. I did the video yesterday, and I need to edit it, and it'll be out probably tomorrow for this. And it's a really easy pattern. I called it my Fuzzy Waves blanket because I did a wave pattern. Now, you do not have to use the Bernat cakes. You can use any of the blanket yarn that you have on hand. It works up quick, and it's absolutely beautiful colors on this one. And the neat thing about this pattern is it's just a repeat. So you can make it as wide as you want or as long as you want. That's my Fuzzy Waves blanket pattern. I did the video yesterday afternoon. I need to edit it, and it should be ready tomorrow. So it's a great pattern, super duper easy. If you can do a chain and a single crochet and a double crochet, and then be willing to learn that triple crochet, which is basically just one more loop and one more time going through 2 loops on your hook. Super easy, and I'll show you how to do it. And it's a great pattern. My dogs love it. I've got it up here because I didn't want them to sit on it yet. So anyway, yes, that is a wonderful pattern. It's a wonderful yarn. I have, you know, I love the chunky yarns, and I have really loved working with all the new blanket yarns. I've got some really thick stuff that I'm going to make just a simple little throw. It's like a, I'm going to say like a soft velvet purple. It's so pretty. I cannot wait to do it. So that is, I wasn't going to talk about it just yet, but I am talking about what's new this week at Posh Pooch Designs. And so that blanket pattern is one of them. Another video that I actually released yesterday is a pattern for my snowflake. And this is a snowflake that I did probably, oh my goodness, 3 years ago as an applique. And these are on the board, and on the video I show you how to make the snowflake and then how to stiffen it using glue and add some sparkle with glitter. It's a real short video, maybe 15 minutes, because this is just 3 rounds around. And these work up so much fun. You can use it as an applique. You can stick it on your hat or your shirt or whatever, scarf, stockings, whatever you want to do with it. Or you can stiffen it and make Christmas ornaments, which is what I'm doing. That's why I added this string. I just decided I was going to get ribbon, and I tried a couple of different colors of ribbon, but they take away from the sparkly yarn when I added the ribbon. There we go. And so I just used another piece of the yarn, and they're made out of the white with the silver sparkle. And I just love them. They measure about 2.5 inches across, and depending on, you know, how tightly you stitch. And the truth, these are done with worsted weight number 4 yarns. And if you want them smaller, just use the same pattern and use a smaller hook, and you can make them smaller. If you want to make great big chunky ones, same thing. Just use the hook that the yarn that you're using recommends, and you can make them bigger or smaller. I liked this size because it works perfect for ornaments on my tree, and I am. Petra's asking, how can she stiffen the snowflakes? If you watch the video, at the beginning of the video, I show you how to make the snowflake. And then after the snowflake is made, I show you how to stiffen it. And it's really easy. It's just 1 part of school glue and 1 part of water. And you just drench it, pin them to some sort of a board like I have here, and let them dry. And then you can add glitter or glitter spray. Super easy. And this is a really great pattern if you have like a scout troop or a group of girls at your church you want to teach a little bit of crochet to, or even ladies, you know, or men too. I just mean anyone who wants to just learn crochet, because there's just really simple patterns, and they can come up with, you know, leave with an item that they've made and they can use. I have to tell you the funniest thing. My mother-in-law made these beautiful intricate snowflakes, and I mean tiny thread with a tiny hook, and she stiffened them with she used, if I'm correct, the glue, the water, and sugar. And I had them in a zip bag for many years, and I used them every year because I love crochet, and I love having crochet all over my Christmas tree and decorate around the house. And this last year, not this year, but last year, I went to pull those out, and a little mouse had gotten in there, had been just nibbling on those and tore them to shreds. And so I decided I was not going to use any of the sugar. I was going to use real glitter instead. I think I saved about 3 of them. They are intricately stitched. I can't do the tiny needles or hooks anymore. I can't hold on to it. Oh, Missy says she will be making some. Yeah, they're super easy to make. And the thing is, you don't have to use my pattern to use how to stiffen them. The way that I stiffen them is super easy, and you can use it for anything that you want to stiffen up. I have a thing I want to do to make a crochet bowl, and I'm going to use the same technique and see if I can get it to work over the bowl. and I'll let you know if that works too. All right, so we talked about the blanket, we talked about the snowflakes, and then, you know, each week or so, I'm trying to do a series of vintage crochet patterns with a modern twist. And so this week's pattern is one that I'm going to do, and it is this. You know what that is? Here's the Christmas one. Well, if you don't know what that is, this is what they are. Oh, twisted. And originally I was given some of these, and I actually made some myself using the plastic ring like you use when you used to get cans of soda. I used to have all the plastic rings and you cut them apart. And so I'm not going to use the plastic rings in there. And so I purchased some metal rings. And the thing about the metal ring is they hold the shape really well, but it makes it just a little bit more difficult to get your towel through. So I'm going to run to Hobby Lobby today and see if I can find another alternative. To me, the plastic ring off the soda pop was a little too stretchy, and someone said use a hairband. The thing about the hairband is once they've gone through the laundry a few times, the elastic inside sort of loses its stretch. And so I don't want to use that. So I may just stick with the metal ring and see if I can find a stainless steel one that won't rust if it goes through the laundry. But I haven't got the patterns written, but I don't have it up or anything just yet. Hopefully I'll get that done for you on Friday. So, Nancy says, what about using the ergonomic hooks? I do want to get some of those. My friend Ann was working on a teeny tiny little snowflake this last week at Crochet, and she had some where the handle is the same size and you take the hooks off and change the hooks. So I'm going to check into that. I may have to ask Santa Claus to bring me that for Christmas this year. That means I'll probably buy it myself. Well, that's all I've got for you today. And like I said, if you missed the beginning of the video where I talked about how to join Chunky Yarns, feel free to watch it when we're done. And if you haven't clicked in, clinked in, go ahead and clink in. Tell me where you're from. Now remember, don't give me your address. Just tell me what state or country that you live in. It's just a lot of fun to see who comes in and watches the video and let me know where they're from. And if you have a question of something that you want an answer to, I will do my best to try to answer that question. And if I don't know the answer, I will do my best to find you an answer. Well, thanks for tuning in this week. I feel like I have a whole bunch of friends here on getting to know you on Facebook and on YouTube, and I just love this time. I get to read your comments and get to know you as you all love crochet like I do and love yarn like I do. We have something wonderful in common. Everybody, I don't know if I'm going to be able to have a live video next Tuesday because we haven't finished making our plans yet. So if I do, I'll pop in for a few minutes. And if I don't, I'll see you after Thanksgiving. And those of you who don't live in America, still remember, even though you're not celebrating an American Thanksgiving, there are lots of wonderful things to be thankful for. And again, that statement that I read, a thankful heart is a happy heart. I like that. A thankful heart is a happy heart. Y'all have a great week. And thanks for tuning in.